Hi everyone, it's Mickey here, Mr. India. In the back garden, doing a back garden review. Although we have some lift on lockdown, not so sure what's going on. However, I do have a car I want to show you today, which I think is special. And no, it's not my Ferrari GTC4 Lusso. I just put that there in the background because I think it's quite a nice piece of artwork. But yeah, so I just like parking it in the back garden. I like parking all my cars in the back garden. But today, I really wanted to talk about a car which I've got in custodian to myself. It belongs to a friend of mine, and quite a special car, I think. It's actually a Mercedes, and it's not a new Mercedes, but nevertheless, I think it's something that you guys might actually like to see. So let me just show you what this car is. So have you guessed it? Definitely an E-Class. It is the E55 AMG. A lot of you who are watching this video probably recognize the car. It's quite a special car. It's this particular car is actually a 2006 model. It's one of the last ones of this shape that they came out with the better supercharger. This one is the supercharged version. I think the color of this car is actually Cubanite silver, if I remember rightly. It's one of my favorite colors. It's like a gold tinge to a silver shade, but it's a really lovely car. I mean, this one, although it's 2006, it's got what I would consider low miles. I think it's just over 39,000 miles on the clock, but it's been very well looked after. When you go around the car, it's almost flawless. It is a driver, of course. There's one or two stone chips on the front hood and on the front bumper, but not that you can see. And even if you get up close to this car, you look at all the wheels, they're just totally undamaged. They've not even been repaired, not that I can see. Totally original from factory. What I call a virgin car. It doesn't look like it's even been any prangs or accidents. So here's the other wheel. You know, it looks like it's had no paint. Certainly, you know, who am I in terms of qualified to judge that? Well, from my perspective, I used to own car body shops way in my early days. And I could say this just looks like a car that's totally original in paintwork. I don't think it's ever had a prang. It's certainly showing up no records on Carfax. And again, an adulterated car, totally virgin. Really beautiful. Let me show you underneath the hood. So let's go and pull the bonnet catch, or hood catch, let's say. And there we have it. The AMG Supercharged V8 engine. There we go. And it's full glory with the hood back. Really nice, clean under this engine. Who's the engine builder? I don't know if you can see it. It's a bit difficult in the sun, but it does say Robert Feeler. Robert Feeler is the guy who's built this engine. But as you can see, totally clean. If you look underneath the hood itself, really clean. This car's been well looked after. Awesome car. So let me just take you inside this car and look at the interior on this. It's as good as it gets. Door panels, totally unmarked. You go inside, it's got this anthracite wood. Can't remember exactly what it's called, but I think given the heritage of the car, which is an AMG, I think this particular wood looks a lot better than the brown wood that normally comes with it, the walnut. Leather seats. What's really interesting about this particular car, it's got massage seats. They're getting more and more common these days, but it's got the pulsating massage, all the ergonomics of keeping your back in a good position. So this is from the passenger side. Let's go to the back. Again, really almost like brand new at the back. It's like it's never even been sat in. It's in really good condition. This particular car, in the back shelf, you may see at the back at the bottom, it actually has a rear blind as well, electronic rear blind, which is quite good. Got some nice features in the car. Electronic rear blind. And if you go into the trunk, again, really clean as you go and look inside here. You know, unbelievable. It is totally what I call a virgin car. If you wanted a car which has never been messed around with, this is the one. It's also a great colour, and also boot or trunk close. It's got the panoramic sunroof. Some of these are quite optional. I don't know whether they were standard on this, but whether they're optional. Oh, you can see on the back here, this line here inside, that's actually the electric blind. I'll try and pull that up shortly. Again, I think this wood on the back doors looks really well in this car with this colour. You know, it really looks modern, given the age of the car. And the wheel, again, this is on the other side. Barely one stone chip on the wheel as you go along. Barely nothing on the front wheel. It's just in such great condition. You look at the door mirrors, they're in great condition. It is, again, I keep saying, a virgin car. Let's get inside here. Again, door panel, the wood, I just love the wood on this. I don't know whether it's black ash, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And, if you can see there, only 39,520 miles. Now this car also comes equipped with a multi-CD player, comes in here. And the CD player comes out as a six disc changer. It has an auxiliary port in the glove box. It has command with satellite navigation. This car also comes equipped with the later center console with the actual cup holders, as you can see, and they've got the service buttons there. But these cup holders can come out to give you more storage. Really nice feature. You can put things under there and put the cup holder back, so if you want to put your wallet in there, you could do. That's the old ashtray, or yeah, the ashtray. Standard gear, automatic gear change. It's got adjustable suspension. You can raise the ride height, stiffen the suspension. You've got steering wheel controls to control your radio and other functions. It is, again, also, you've got the controls here for massage seats at the front, pulsating, etc. This particular car still has its original first aid kit in there. There you go. Not been used, still brand new. And that's unusual. It's very unusual. It's just a beautiful car inside out. Again, leather. So I think it's Napa leather, black Napa leather. It's just a beautiful colour. I can just imagine this car with blacked out grille, blacked out Mercedes badge, all de-chromed. It would just look menacing, even with the wheels. If you had them in black with a silver rim, it'd just be a total menacing looking car. So you're probably wondering why I'm giving this car such a description. Well, the thing is, this car doesn't belong to me. I think I mentioned that earlier. It belongs to a very dear friend of mine. And they're in that age group, you know, in the 65 to 85 group, where the pandemic is not very, well, they're in the danger group and they're in self-isolation. And one of the things that my friend wants to do, he wants to actually sell the car. And I wanted to give it a review. I wanted to show you the car itself. I mean, there's not a lot I can tell you about the car that an AMG enthusiast wouldn't already know about it. The key points being it's got the latest supercharger, which is good. It's got all the spec. The one thing I will say that's missing on this car is actually parking sensors. So other than parking sensors, it's fully loaded. You know, there's not a thing missing on it, not that I can see. A purist may come back and say, this is missing, that's missing. It's got the rear blind, it's got the 6 CD changer, it's got an auxiliary port, it's got massage seats, fully Napa leather, and that V8 supercharged engine. Now, I believe this is a slightly more responsive engine with the new supercharger, with the new supercharger gearing. I think versus the 2004, 2005 models, the 2006 models had this new supercharger and made it a lot better to drive and a lot more reliable. Not that they're not reliable, it's just a lot more reliable. But coming back to the purpose of the video is I'm actually looking to try and help my friend move this car on. It is a 39,500 mile car. We're going to go for a drive in a minute so you can hear it. I'm going to put the cameras on the exhaust pipes, tailpipes, see what it sounds like. And you know, if anybody's interested, reach out to me from direct messaging, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or any other means, or YouTube. Reach out to me and I'll arrange for you to have a look at the vehicle. It's a rare opportunity. I've been looking on Auto Tempest and there's only one other car out there that's got 34,000 miles, I think it has. It's a black one, 2006 model. I'm not sure of the exact spec. I'm not sure what the history is. This certainly has clean title, but that car's up at $27,999. I don't think that's a bad price for the car, actually, given the low mileage. This has got a little bit more miles, you know. I won't say we're open to crazy offers, but at the end of the day, I think the car speaks for himself. Anybody wants a car to start modding, or they want a totally original car to preserve, this is the car, totally. So, let me get in the car and let's go for a drive and see what it's like. And hopefully, one of you out there might say, hey Mickey, can we get together and have a look at the car? I promise you, you will not be disappointed by this car. There's not many out there like this. So any of you out there, give us a shout. And there it is. Right. Let's go and take this baby for a drive. I've got the cameras going. So, as you can see, it's very, very quiet already and really, really smooth. I've hooked the camera up on the outside as well, so you can see the journey and the drive. Hopefully we can get a bit of a sense of what this car can do. So I'm currently in comfort mode, pretty easygoing. I'm going to stay there until I actually get onto a bit of nice road. Let's just move it a little bit. I mean, the actual car itself is just smooth as anything. It's like the day it came out of the showroom, driving wise. No noises, no creaks. Actually, I would say it's akin to driving an S-Class, you know? So just a little bit more manageable. So we're gonna just head up. I live in Sonoma County in California, and let's just head up to the roads up to Bodega Bay, which is not far from here. It's only about 15 minutes drive. So we're just coming out of where I live, and let's head off straight and see what this baby can do. So like I said, I've got it in comfort mode. There's many features on here. I mean, we've got the satellite navigation. There is the 6 CD changer in the compartment down here. Press this button and it goes down. You press this button and at the back you can't see. The actual rear blind comes up. Press it again and the rear blind comes down. It's a nice little feature. The car's got no tinted glass, so that could be quite useful, but I'm going to stick it up. The good thing about this car, it's also got cooling seats and it's got heated seats. So it's quite unusual for a car of 2006, both cooling and heated seats. So I've just switched on my cooling seats, which is quite a nice feature. And there's a button here to drop the rear headrest down. And then those of you know the 124 series E-Class, not the one before this, the one before that, it used to have this press button, which is that, drop the headrest down so you can actually see backwards behind you when reversing. And you think, well, why would you want to do that? Well, the reason you want to do that is in this car there's no parking sensors, which I find quite odd. It's about the only thing missing off this car is parking sensors. Those of you who know the Mercedes of this era, they have the red lights and the red lights and the orange lights or the yellow lights, which sort of get more and more on a bar as you get closer to the obstacle. Unfortunately, on this car, it doesn't have it, which is a bit sad. Other than that, it's got everything on it. It's got 4 memory seats on both sides. So sorry, 3 memory seats on both sides. So 3 position memories, fully electric, headrest electrics, back is electric. Obviously, the base seat is electric. You've got the massage functions down here. I think that is one thing I would say is really good on the latest cars. Is actually the massage function is part of your infotainment system, and as a result of which, the infotainment system makes it easy to control the massage seats. Being down here attached to the seat itself, it's not particularly great because you just don't know what you're doing. So it's a matter of learning what those buttons do, and I think once you learn how the buttons work, it's pretty easy. It's like anything else. So the good thing about this particular steering wheel, it's got a little bit of a grip. It's not particularly thick. It doesn't look particularly appetizing, except at the back of here you've got paddle shifters. Paddle shifters, well, they're buttons, and you can change the gear up and down. So change up and down is working really well, no problem. So that works really well. So there's no paddles but these buttons here. You also got cruise control. It's a lever here, you set it on and off, and it's you're away. Here you got climate control, not air conditioning, so you can set the temperature and it keeps the car at that constant temperature. So the thing about climate control, it's not about blowing hot air all the time, it's about keeping your environment at a certain temperature. The other thing that's really interesting about this car is it has what am I going to tell you? I forgot. Anyway, let's move on. So it's got a garage opener, which is something that most people need. Where else has it got? Oh, it's got the headlight switches, automatic headlights on and off. It's got a boot release right down here in the door pockets. The great thing about this car, that's what I say, it's got a Harman Kardon sound system, so it's got the upgraded sound system with the bass box, etc. So it's well equipped in terms of music, and I think music is one of the most important things in a car, because especially if you're on your own and you're driving, it can actually take the monotony out of that. Glass panoramic sunroof. It's got a back half where the the shade slides back for the back passengers, and at the front the shade slides back and the glass roof opens. I won't open it just now because I've got my camera attached to the glass roof. Where else has it got that sticks out? I told you there was an auxiliary port in the glove box. The previous owner had a Bluetooth radio receiver so they can play their car phone through the actual car speakers, and I still have that in the trunk. So if anybody wants to reconnect that, you just plug it into the cigarette lighter and plug it into the auxiliary port. But basically, as you can hear, the car is pretty quiet. It's smooth, it's really, really nice. So when I press this button here, next to the gearbox, Airmatic DC comes in the front screen. It's on Sport 1. If I put it on Sport 2, it stiffens the suspension, and then it's gone Comfort. So I could keep it in Comfort mode and change the Sport setting. So I've just changed it to Sport 2, which is the most stiff suspension you can get. However, I've still got Comfort mode on the rest of the engine settings. So the engine, the gearbox is still in Comfort mode. It's not in Sport mode. If I wanted to actually put the whole car into Sport mode, I would actually use this button here. But we'll do that shortly. And then there's a button here. If I press it, it says vehicle rising. So my vehicle, because the car is on air suspension, the vehicle is now raising its ride height. I'm not sure why we'd want that, but it is. If I press it again, I think I'm just pressing the Sport 2. I'm hoping if I press this again, so when I go into Sport 2, I apologise, it automatically takes the vehicle down to a lower ride height. So the suspension, it gets stiffer and the ride height lowers. So I'm going to put it into sport. So now it's in sport mode, and I'm going to make sure I'm in sport 2. Sport 2, and here we go. It's quite responsive actually, and I'm really impressed by how responsive the car is. So let's just go for a little bit of a drive and see how this is. I mean, you can have it has a manual box where I can change the gears here, lower the gears here. I think it's a 5-speed box on this one. It's not the 7-speed box. So it's a 5-speed box married to that supercharged engine. You can't really hear anything inside the car. I mean, it's a really, really comfortable car. So, like I said, if anybody's looking for a car which is unadulterated, it's a virgin car, this is the one to buy. The good thing about it is the tyres are really good. I think they got 6-7 mils of tread all round, Continentals. So there's a good set of tyres on this car. I never got to show you that in the video, but the tyres are very good. What else can I tell you about the car? Okay, so you got the center console up here. You've got the concierge service, which you can hit and press the button and it dials Mercedes-Benz directly, and you can speak to the concierge if you're in trouble or you need to get to a restaurant. You can do all that stuff. So it's really cool, and it's got reading lights. So it's got a bit of a center console up here as well. It's got the, like I said, the cooling seats, but it's AMG. But the seats themselves, I'm pretty sure I've seen these seats in S-classes of the era, you know, particularly with the massage function. So they've got a little bit of a bucket on them, not a horrendous amount, but it's a good long distance cruiser. It's a great family car. What I would say is that not everybody can afford both a sports car and a family car, and I think this particularly ticks that box really, really well. I remember when I was actually a lot younger and, you know, starting out my family, I could really only afford one car, and you know, it had to be a family car. Then eventually, you know, what I was able to do was buy an MPV for my wife to drive, because as the family expanded. But then I was able to buy a second car, and even then I still had to buy a 4-seater. I always wanted to be able to drive the fast car on long journeys with the family in it, and this car absolutely fits that bill. I'm just going to adjust the mirrors a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So the mirror adjustment function is here, which is nice. Everything is really at your hands, and you know, Mercedes have really designed this well. You know, you can't complain. So I'm going to leave it in the passenger side setting so that when you put it in reverse, the mirrors. Got the E55 AMG on its go, and currently got it in manual mode, driving up to Bodega Bay. Hopefully we're getting some good footage here. So I'm on the way back to base. Had a bit of a drive in the E55 AMG. I think you will agree this particular model, in terms of this particular car, is really quite good. And you know, it's one of those virgin vehicles which, you know, if you wanted a car which is totally original, low mileage, you know, 5,500 and some miles, drives really quietly, this is the one to get. If you're looking for a car that you want to buy and start modifying, and you want to make sure you've got a blank canvas, this is the car you should get. Cubanite silver, black leather, it's got the anthracite wood, which I think is better for a car. It also got It's also got cooling seats, heated seats, rear blind. And I'm going to show you the rear blind. I don't know if you can see that line coming up. Hopefully you saw that. And you see it come down. So it's got rear blind. It's got massage seats. I showed you that before. It's just a really loaded car. Like I said, the only thing that it doesn't have is parking sensors. Other than that, it's fine. It's a beautiful car, very accomplished. It's 14 years old at the end of the day. Supercharged. They don't make supercharged engines anymore. It's got to be one of the most efficient engines in terms of fast cars with miles per gallon. You know, 15 years on, you probably get similar performance out of a Golf GTI today's Golf GTIs. Would I be scared in letting my, teenage sons drive this? No. So if you're looking for a car for your teenage son who's looking for something really, really cool and not too expensive, this is a good option. It really is. It gives them a bit of a car to do projects on, and it's got performance behind it. It's a cult car, 2006 E55, supercharged, one of the last ones. Definitely is a cult car. I think it's cool, and I wouldn't be scared buying this for my teenage sons. Anyway, this is Mickey checking out. I hope you enjoyed the drive, and I do hope you actually take a moment to have a look at this car. If nothing else, give me your comments on what you think about the car. Catch you soon. Bye.